everybody, and welcome back to the Onesie Piece podcast, where two grown men in onesies argue about a cartoon.
I'm Esteban, and I don't like anime too much.
I'm Wade, and I like it.
Yeah, you're a fan of anime, I'd say. After knowing you a while, I'd say if someone were to walk up to me and say, "Hey, do you know Waddles, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I know Waddles. Is he a fan of anime?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, he loves the stuff. Can't get enough of it. Anime runs through his blood. He talks anime every day. He sleeps anime every night, and
It's a bit much.
he just everything about him is screaming anime."
I don't like it that much.
You like it more than me.
Quite frankly, I'm offended, but that's fine. I do like it more than you, and that will become apparent in today's episode, surely.
It will.
All right, well, what'd you think? Oh, we're in Skypeia arc, everybody.
We're in Skypeia already.
We're in Skypeia
We're almost done with the show, aren't we?
We're practically at the end. Yep. And we went up to the point where they found half of a house.
Yes.
Mysterious.
The second time.
Well, that is true.
Yes.
It's the other half of the house.
So yeah.
So
what did I think of this
what's the deal?
So far?
What's the deal?
I'm trying to understand Skypeia in general.
All right. Elaborate.
It seems so
whimsical.
Random, yeah.
Whimsical. It almost feels like filler, but it's not filler.
I was actually going to say that. Like, at what points does this show draw the line between filler and not filler? Like, technically, filler is stuff that didn't happen in the mangoes, but happens in the anime, right?
Correct. Not in the mangoes. Yep.
But, like, isn't all of this filler to when he eventually reaches the end of the Grand Line? Like, how much of this?
I guess you could argue that for any show.
Yeah, how much? Well, not any show, because usually shows are like building on top of each other to its conclusion.
How is One Piece not building on top of itself?
That's what I'm asking. Does any of this matter?
Does any of Skypeia matter?
Yes.
Well, we'll just have to get to the end, I guess, and find out.
All right. Okay. I guess we will. I don't see at this point what the stakes, what the purpose is of coming to Skypeia. Like, isn't
go on an adventure, my guy?
Exactly. Like, what are we getting out of this adventure? Presumably nothing. Just having gone on an adventure, right?
I mean, yeah.
All the characters are going in one way, and they're coming out exactly the same. No one's changing from this, I don't think.
Well, I mean, I'm sure that there's some changes that happen amongst Skypeia and Skypeians.
I hope. I've seen nothing yet, but we are on the first, hill of the arc. Mm-hmm. So, I suppose we've
already seen some. I mean, there's some changes happening. There's stuff that happen.
Stuff happens, but doesn't mean anything is the point.
Really, I don't disagree. Skypeia is an oddity. Especially coming off of Alabasta, where you had a very large build-up to it.
Yes.
Skypeia feels more out of the blue, a little bit more random, and it feels...
That's kind of like a pun.
It feels enclosed in
They're
itself.
out of the blue. Out of the blue sea.
Out of the blue sea into the... I'm not going to say that... there's definitely a point to it all. Surely there's a point to it all.
One can hope.
But I get it. It feels a little out of the blue. It feels disconnected from the rest of the world and the rest of the One Piece story, which I think is by design. I mean, I guess at this point in the game, at least, it feels more like further world building, and that's pretty much it. We find out that you have Sky Islands. I mean, that's a pretty big deal that most of the population doesn't even know exists or believe in. But
even in the Grand Line, people are like, this doesn't exist, right?
Yeah, exactly. On Jaya, they were laughing at him for even mentioning Sky Island.
Yeah, and they're like right below it.
Yeah, they're like, it was literally, we find out at the end that it was a part of Jaya.
So
the other half.
Okay, so in the last section that we watched, there was like clouds and like huge dark spot, right?
Huge dark.
It's like they were going into night or whatever.
Yeah.
Just super overcast. Is that like supposed to be, Skypeia is right above them blocking the sun?
I think so.
Okay.
That's how I took it. It's a giant mass. Well, but even so, like,
does Skypeia experience night? It must, right?
It must.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not above the sun.
Yeah.
It does, and it is an interesting question though. Are its days shorter? Because it's higher in the sky? How did that work? Would it be? They would be shorter, but very slight. Well, they're like 30,000 feet up there.
Yeah.
So surely the sun is under them more than it's over them.
Is that how the sun works?
I don't know. In my head, it makes sense.
They probably.
Well, the sun has to rise still, and
do you
if
think
they're
they get like
up,
rain?
It takes a longer time for it to rise to their level.
That's true. And it probably sets quicker, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's technically closer to the sun.
Right. Exactly. It's not super closer to the sun, but technically, it's probably a couple minute difference.
Maybe.
Who knows? Maybe you at home know.
Do they get like rain or? I don't care about anything.
Truthfully, who gives a shit?
Yes, it doesn't matter.
But it is a condensed story within Jaya at this point. You have it's building up to be the story of Jaya being split into and a Sky Island being formed, right?
Yeah.
And nobody believing it exists, but it's another layer on the world. Somehow two seas exist in the sky.
You know what kind of bugged me going into this? Is that immediately off the bat, they started trying to explain how it all works. Mm-hmm. Like, you got these molecules that are super condensed, and then that's forming all this type of matter that looks like clouds. And, like, I don't get it, man. Like, or I don't care. Like, I'm content with just islands in the sky. That's fine. I know what I'm watching.
Well, they had to give you... You might not care, but there are probably people who are like, that's ridiculous.
How could that even happen?
That's not physically possible.
Oh, that's how they do it. I guess it is possible.
Oh, now I understand. This is very cool. So...
Not too long ago, we watched a race of fishermen like conquer a series of towns. Like, I can handle islands in the sky.
Yeah, we got the fishmen, which were like under the sea, right? Kind of. You could swim under the sea. Now we have people above the sea. Vertical, baby. It's all vertical.
Yeah, it's all connected.
But it's I don't know. It's interesting. It's fun, I guess. They have they completely different currency. They seem completely disconnected from the world down below, and they
do
have
know
like
how to
different
exchange
technology.
That currency, though. They do know how to exchange that currency, though.
They do. I mean, they have tourists, they say, but it seems there's a couple ways to get to them. You get to Sky Islands, they explained, but it seems like the people down below, not many know about them. But yeah, it seems more like a tourist trap than anything, trying to take that money, and if you don't, you're like illegal, and they're gonna arrest you.
That's another thing that bugged me. Like when we were talking about like, or when the white berets were doing their thing, and they were talking about like, oh, that's a 10th degree crime, and oh, that's a 9th degree crime, that's a 7th degree crime. Like, calm down, man. They're all crimes. Like
once again, you've missed the point. In which it
No.
was that he's a man who lives life by the books.
I mean, you can convey a cop that lives by the books without numbering everything. Anime always
Or you
numbers
can
everything.
do it this way.
Anime always numbers shit. I'm sick of numbers, man.
It was just a stupid cop reading off the law to the people.
The law is stupid.
Well, yeah, but I mean, regardless, the whole point was that it's even, it's supposed to be ridiculous and over the top.
You're right. It's supposed to be ridiculous. I need to keep reminding myself that.
It is supposed to be. I mean, at the end of the day, it's still a cartoon.
You're right. You're right.
Well, I don't want to be right. I'm not saying this shit to be right. I'm just trying to have a discussion with my good friend.
But you are right.
Okay.
Like,
as long as you're not just saying that so that I shut up and we move on.
No. Like, I want to be angry. There's a seed inside of me that wants to be angry about all this. But you provided a perfectly, like, reasonable explanation as to, why I'm crossing the line here. Like, It's nothing to get upset about. It's a cartoon. It's setting out to be stupid and ridiculous.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
so
the white berets came out crawling.
And they keep crawling.
They just crawl everywhere. But it's the numbers that get you.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
The crawling annoyed you too.
Yeah. But then it was just like, this is the most like when is like I'm expecting the whole time one of them to just hold up a spork, because that's the kind of level of random that this arc is trying to like achieve.
I don't think it's that random.
I do.
Spork.
Yeah. Remember in like high school, like all the random lol like culture.
Lol, so random. I don't get that vibe from Skypeia.
I do.
I don't love Skypeia.
You
but I
you
don't
look
get
at
that vibe.
You look at that priest, that orbital priest, and
orbital priest,
the sphere guy.
Yeah.
Just bouncing out, and you don't think this is trying to be random.
If anything, it seems more normalized than some of the shit we've
The whole
seen
theme of that priest was random balls with random effect.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It seems tame compared to some of the shit we've seen.
That's true. But then
it doesn't
overall,
seem any more random than what we've already encountered.
I mean, overall, like the show in general, it's like as we move from one arc to the next, like what random things are we gonna see now? Like that's.
Yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be a unique world with unique inhabitants within it.
Yeah.
That stick out in some way. Because I'll say, I didn't super remember a lot from Skypeia, but I remembered Ball Guy. I don't remember any. I hadn't remembered any of the other four, but I remembered Ball Guy.
I guess that says something.
I guess that's whether that's good or bad, I don't know, but he's stuck in my head, so I guess good on you, Oda.
Oh, that makes me worried about the other priests then. Because
the flame dude I didn't remember, but he's pretty cool.
See, for me personally, like the most memorable thing about characters is like their actions and what they do. Like their designs just go in like one ear and out the other, for lack of a better phrase.
Yeah, that's fair.
So like as wild and zany as these designs get, like very few of them seem to be sticking with me unless the character actually does something substantial.
So Flame Guy kind of does something substantial. He starts lighting the boat on fire.
Flame Guy was cool. I liked Flame Guy.
I was surprised I didn't remember Flame Guy. I was like, he's just lighting the boat on fire.
Yeah, and stabbing people.
He stabs Chopper in like the shoulder, and that lights on fire.
And he stabs God.
He does. He stabs God himself. Well,
that's memorable.
Old God.
Yeah, so I guess that's a question I have that I'm assuming will just be answered as we move forward. Is like, what is God here? Like, some of these angel people are talking as if God is like the deity, like the Almighty God.
Right.
But then we're seeing like these people who are just kind of using God as a title for a position, I guess.
Yeah.
So that I don't know what that means, but I'm assuming that gets explained later on.
I'm sure they go into it.
I'm sure too.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, the pieces we've been given is basically that he was once God and a new God came and dethroned him. So I don't know if it's like a king thing where like kill the king and become the king kind of thing.
Someone did get fucking smoked though. Did you?
Someone did get smoked, and I'm happy to say that guy never comes back.
Thank you so much.
At least I don't remember him coming back.
Not that he matters. We didn't even get a name, I don't think.
Yeah, no, he was completely. But I mean, honestly, no, we didn't get a name. But I'm still happy that
he was.
That
he was
guy's
a pure
dead.
red shirt.
That sort of feels like the first death that's memorable and on screen and so like visible.
Yeah.
Very, very visible. So yeah, I mean, we have these lightning bolts coming down and just smoking people when they do wrong.
Yeah.
They tried to get the girl, as well.
Nami?
No. The angel girl.
Kasi.
So
Kosi.
see, so while Skypeia is disconnected from the rest, don't you find it a little bit interesting, like how these rules keep getting sprinkled in that are kind of like leading to an overall narrative? Like we find out that the people who were helping them went against them and were trying to lure them to the island.
Okay, this legitimately confused me.
Okay.
This whole thread of what's her name?
I don't know. The angel girl?
Angel girl.
I don't know. I don't know what her name is. I gotta be honest, I don't even remember.
Angel girl, like this whole thread of Angel girl and her father like helping them, but then betraying them at some point, and then everyone's like shunning them, like not paying them any, like actively avoiding Straw Hats and Angel girl, and then she's ashamed. Like all this stuff's going on, and I didn't understand it, and they explained it, but it still didn't click. Are we jumping ahead? Do you want to go through your things?
No, it's good. We're having a good conversation. I'm not worried about it.
Okay. So, let's start from the beginning. Okay. Straw Hats enter Skypeia.
All right.
Paying the toll.
Yeah. All right. We'll start from the beginning.
Yeah.
You find out the Blackbeard pirates are alive. Blah blah blah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Oh no, my buttons are broke.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Not your buttons. Not your gumdrop buttons.
I haven't seen Shrek in a while.
I watched it like last month or something.
Is it as good as I remember it being?
Of course.
Good.
The movie's golden.
It makes me so happy. All right, here we go. That should do it. Sorry for the delay. Ooh, look at how cool that. Oh no! Wait. Oh, it only slides to the right. That's weird. So if I go to the left, it still slides to the right, which is very misleading.
That is. Oh well, just avoid sliding to the left. Easy solution.
Nah, we're not doing it. We're not doing it.
Are you serious? Why?
We're fading. We're fading now.
Fine. All right.
Which is a lot worse, but that's fine. OBS. I got a bone to pick with you. We find out that the Blackbeard pirates are alive.
Yep, don't care about them.
Who cares? Okay, let's talk about this moment, because this moment was fucking stupid. All right, you'll love
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
For one, I wouldn't find this moment stupid if it was. Well, I would still find
like
it
anybody else.
Yes, exactly. Right, like. Luffy probably wouldn't jump in the water because he's made out of a fruit. But Zoro, sure, I guess. Usopp would not have the guts to just dive into a sea that is thousands of feet above. Like, you're in the sky.
Yeah,
There's
right?
no way. Usopp, his whole thing is that he's a coward.
Exactly. Basic logic, dictates that, eventually you'll come out the bottom.
Right.
And fall thousands of feet.
Which is exactly what happened.
Yeah.
And Usopp is a coward, but he's not an idiot.
Yeah.
He's actually portrayed as one of the smarter ones on the crew.
Exactly, yeah.
So not only is it dumb, it's also terrifying. In no world does Usopp do this.
I 100% agree. I hated this moment.
I did as well. This moment pissed me off a little bit, but Usopp falls to the sky, Luffy grabs him and brings him back. And we meet the Sky Knight, who we later find out is Old God.
Yes.
And,
Old God.
Old God. What'd you think of Old God?
I mean, he was cool. Like, is he just there? I mean, when they first showed up, it was like, oh, this guy is pretty neat. He's literally just a Sky Knight. He has a useless pet.
What did you think about the Pegasus gag?
As a gag,
the Pegasus gag made me crack up when they revealed it.
Yeah, as a gag, that was pretty good.
And then it flaps its wings like a fucking hummingbird.
Yeah, and then someone says what's the point of that?
It's like the least majestic thing in the world, and
yeah.
I genuinely, it made me laugh. As a gag, it was funny. But I agree, the horse is whatever. I mean, it gets around, it can fly, it's not the most useless.
Well, I mean, but its forms are either a Pegasus that he rides on or a bird that he rides on. Functionally, they do the same thing. That's why someone says it's useless.
That's true. Does it turn up into a straight bird?
Yeah, it's just a straight up big old bird.
All right, fair enough.
That he also rides on.
Right. So, wait, where's the uselessness? You're just saying he should always be a bird?
Yeah, it doesn't matter if he's always a bird or he's always Pegasus. The transformation doesn't matter.
Yeah, which I guess is it's probably part of the gag as well.
Yeah, it is. I think Sanji points it out or something.
It's I think he says it right here. What's the point of that?
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe not. I don't know. Something seems off. Regardless, so animal aside, Old God Kami, I think is his name. I'm reading it, so I might be pronouncing it wrong, but I believe it's Kami. He implements an interesting little sprinkle by giving them the whistle.
Yeah, the one whistle.
The one whistle, which he usually you have to pay him money for, but because of their courage and
no, what kind of bullshit's that?
Well, he's God. It kind of fits God's narrative. Kind of feels like a God thing to do.
I mean, I guess, yeah. This just seems like, here's this thing that you can't afford. Have it anyway.
Yeah, because he's just a good guy.
Yeah.
He's just a good guy. They got up there without dying. He figured they deserve it.
Just this pointless little... I just thought it was pointless.
Which it later on gets used.
It does.
And in just probably not the way you expected it to be used. I mean, it was used. I just found it funny that Chopper's like, I'm going to put this on and use it if I need it. And then the next panel is this huge flame dude appearing, and Chopper's just blowing the whistle immediately.
That was kind of funny.
I enjoyed that. That. So, and he comes and kind of proves himself. To me, I like Kami. I like Old God because he feels kind of like the first person that's outside of the crew that's kind of
okay, hold on.
he can fight.
Kami.
Kami? Is that his name?
Kami.
Kami? Kami, I think.
That's not what they call him in the show. They call him something else.
I don't know. Well, they call
But
him Old God.
Kami is that green guy who lives in the sky in Dragon Ball Z.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that word just literally translates to God.
Yes, I think it does. But I thought they called him Kami. Oh, you're right. It is the Piccolo-looking guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it does translate to God. They were... Yeah, because... on one hand, she said... The angel lady said, we know who you are, Kami. Come back to us, or something like that. But they also refer to the new god as Kami. So I think you're right. I think it just translates to God. I don't know if that's his name or not, but Old God.
So in the show, they just translate it to God. No one ever says Kami.
Okay. Okay. So that's why it threw you off. That makes sense. Okay. Well, there we go. They're calling this guy Kami. I don't know what his actual name is, but he's the first person that I can really think of that's like proven that they can fight outside of the crew and outside of like who the crew is opposed to.
So like someone who can fight that's not an enemy?
Yeah, like you had like Vivi, which she could kind of fight, but like he comes out and is like, I'm straight up gonna take on like one of these like demigods, and I'm gonna. He loses, but he puts on a good fight.
He does.
And then we see like Luffy and Sanji and Usopp, mainly just Luffy and Sanji, taking on. So it takes two of them to take on the ball guy. So they're pretty strong. Clearly, they're pretty powerful dudes.
But what's their bounties?
Well, I think they're in the sky and they don't have bounties. They're just gods. Aren't you happy they don't have bounties?
They're powerless. No bounties.
You should be chomping at the bit. You should be cheering that they don't have bounties.
I'm so happy they don't have bounties.
Yeah, no bounty means no threat. Surely. So see, not everything is dictated by bounties.
Thank God. Thank Kami.
Demigods who are very strong and use a thing called what's it fucking
intuition.
Called? It isn't intuition, but kinda. Do you remember what the name of it is?
What are you talking about?
They talk about some like godly power. Like he was like predicting Luffy's movements, and they were like, God bestowed this power on me.
Did they say that? I don't remember any sort of. I just assumed that they ate the see the future fruit or something.
No. It was God gave him the powers. It's fine. I forget the name of it. Mantra. There we go. Thank you, Resident One Piece expert digger.
Yeah, they kept saying the word mantra or mantra.
Yeah, probably
but
mantra.
They never really explained what it was. I just assumed it was something random and paid it no heed.
It isn't. It isn't like anything. I take it as like it's something that's manifested in them from God or something.
All right.
I don't know. They brought it up a couple times, so worth mentioning. What did you think of Skybikes?
Skybikes, the dials. They're pretty cool. Maybe they can bring one with them.
So you complain about how they over-explain things. Oh no, I just spilled honey everywhere.
What the hell?
Oh, there's honey all over me. Hold on.
Why do you have honey to begin with? It's just out in the open to be spilled. You need to contain that in a jar or some other vessel.
It is contained.
It doesn't seem to be.
I'm a big doofus. I got McDonald's the other day and I got the nuggies and I got a honey packet. And I was over here fiddling with it because, I don't know, that's what I do. I'm squeezing it. I didn't think it was going to pop, and then it just popped all over.
Yeah,
and
that happened to me with ketchup once. Little ketchup packets. They're so much fun to just
yeah, they're like squishy. Yeah, exactly. I'm glad you understand.
Burst all over me. And in the car.
And you never did that again.
Never again.
Well,
learned my lesson.
Luckily, it didn't burst too much.
Honey would be a bitch to clean up.
Honey would not be good to have everywhere. All right, the honey catastrophe is over. So you complain about how they over-explain how, like, the CO2 levels make the islands rise and stuff, which I get. It's like, it's, who fucking cares, right?
Yeah.
Like, why do we need to go into that? But the technology and, like, the cultural pieces of it that they can maybe not over-explain, but that they put into it, do you find that more interesting?
Yeah, I mean, this isn't like they're not over explaining anything here. Like, this is just like, okay, they have these shells that propel them or like do other powers.
Yeah, you can like record your voice in them,
Yeah.
and they make little jet
They're-
skis out of them.
Yeah, they're not going into the details of how like the molecules of the cell capture the vibrations of the sound. That
Which scientifically probably still doesn't make sense.
Right.
Like, if you actually dug into it, it probably still makes 0 sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, they're
So you
just
just
saying
have
like,
to take
here's
it at
this
face
thing
value.
that records you.
Yeah.
And like they're leaving it at that, which I'm perfectly fine with.
Right, exactly. Almost by going too deep into it, you're shooting yourself in the foot.
Exactly.
Because you're implying
yeah.
there's science behind it, but we all know it's not real.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
So I get that. The shells are pretty cool. It's interesting that there's technology doesn't exist down below, although maybe the transponder snails and the shells have some sort of commonality.
Oh yeah,
there,
maybe.
you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
I don't know.
Didn't
what
think
if a
of
shell
that.
fell down and the best they could do is recreate it with snails by putting the shell
Or maybe
on
the
a
shell
snail.
fell and it landed on a snail.
And then somebody found the snail and they were like, "Oh my god!" And then
I can use you. I'm taking your agency away.
and then they bred the snails, and somehow the shells also grew.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm down.
Yeah.
with that being the
One Piece world is
explanation.
shell powered. Shell
It
energy.
really is shell powered though. Yeah, I don't know.
And then there's a handful of other shells, like the air shell, and I think there's another one.
Air out. That's right. There's the air shell. Yeah, there's a couple they brought up. But the One Piece pirates, the Straw Hats. I don't know why I call them the One Piece pirates. Meet up with this angel girl and angel dad.
Yes.
They hang out for a little bit. Nami goes off exploring.
Yep, because she gets a hang of the dial thing.
Yeah, the jet ski that supposedly takes 10 years to learn. But
Yeah.
she's a navigator. She can read the waves. Makes sense before you start bitching.
Hey, I think I could pick that up pretty quick too. It's just a jet ski.
Well, they said you have to like be watching the waves and like predicting how they go, otherwise you'll crash.
No, they also said that the sphere ordeal was a 10% survival rate, and I ignored that too.
Did they? They didn't say that in the manga. But
Oh, did they
I
leave
do hate
out
when
the
they put
survival
numbers
rate?
on shit like that in any
Yeah.
show. That's not even an anime thing. That's not even a One Piece thing. Like, maybe it's an anime thing. But I feel like it happens in other shows too.
It seems to happen a lot in anime.
Well, the one I'm always going to is like they'll introduce a prison and nobody's escaped this prison. Not a one person has ever escaped. How that trope is so overdone. It just happened in fucking Avatar, and I'm sick of it. I would love it if they were like, one guy a while back made it out.
But then they have to go into this whole tangent of who that guy was and like this whole mystery, and then there's 5 minutes
They don't need
wasted.
to go into it.
You know they will.
How is it that all these prisons have nobody escaping from them, and yet the main character finds a way? They just got. Why can't they just be like, it's pretty good? It's
a pretty good prison.
It's a pretty good prison. It's not perfect. You can probably find a way out because we know you're gonna anyway. And so us saying this is pointless.
Because I'll tell you exactly why. Because prisons are a for-profit industry, and that doesn't sell them as well.
Yeah, that's true. Do we want to get into the
No.
politics behind prisons being for profit? And fuck that shit.
Yeah.
Regardless.
Moving on. Yeah.
So, there it is. There's the big kersploosial.
Oh, is that the smite being smote?
That's the smite being smitten. Which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I guess I love surprises, so I love shit like this, which is why I loved the Igaram nuke so much, and why I love random lightning bolts just smoking people.
That's more than a lightning bolt. That's like
Yeah, it's like a laser beam.
yeah.
like a
That's the
Covenant
Death Star.
ship is like over.
Yeah. That's the moment the Death Star made contact with Alderaan.
Yeah. So it's just fun and terrifying.
Yeah.
It ups the ante. That's a scary thing happening there, and it happens to the people on the island when they do wrong. When
Do you
they
think
don't
it'll happen
follow
to
the
our
rules.
boys and girls?
What?
Do you think it'll happen to our boys and girls in straw hats?
It might. What would you think if a lightning bolt just came down and smit Luffy? Kaboosh! What would
And
you
he's
think of
just
that?
gone. I'd love it. I'd love it so much.
Anything can happen in One Piece, you know?
Except that.
I have a
He'll be
feeling
okay.
that the Straw Hats will be fine, but
Yeah, me too.
maybe Luffy will get struck by a big old lightning laser beam.
No.
Just right down.
Those kind of good things don't happen to me.
Regardless, to answer your question from earlier, you said you were confused about the rules and the townspeople being all sneaky and all this.
Yeah, like why? Yeah, what was going on there?
I don't remember. So,
Oh, thanks.
I don't remember much about the Skypeia arc. I don't remember
Did
much
you-
about any of the arcs. So
Did
if
you read this?
I
I
did.
watched it.
I did read it. Did you watch it on 1.5 times, by the way?
I did.
The whole way through?
Yeah, it took forever.
Holy shit. I'm honestly amazed. I was betting you'd make it 3 eps. I gave you 3.
1.5 feels like the proper pace with this show. 2 times is so I can get through it quicker than normal.
Or when you have a podcast, you need to talk about it. It seems like maybe 2 times might be a little quick.
I disagree. I did this for you.
I appreciate it, and I especially appreciate it because I'll be honest.
You're leaning on me because you don't remember much?
No, I'm not leaving.
Okay.
I remember a lot.
All right.
I only say that because I don't necessarily have all the answers because I don't even remember pieces of it. So I'm just letting you know. But Skypeia has, in my opinion, when I was watching One Piece the first time I really felt pacing issues was in Skypeia.
I
I was
see.
watching the anime. So you to watch this arc of all arcs on 1.5 times speed, which is still faster than what I watched it, mind you. But it is not the best arc to start slowing down on. Regardless,
I mean, I feel like
appreciate
I'm like around 15 episodes in, and so little has happened.
Yeah.
So I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
If
There's
we
some
were to
pacing.
compare this directly with Alabasta, like probably around this point we've already been introduced to like the conflict, the players,
For sure.
yeah, like we'd be pretty deep into the story. This is just like
compare.
Yeah, with this we're just like we've gone to an island, we've made it, and we just got to go save Nami.
Yeah. It's rough. And I will say this, reading the manga is definitely better. But I'm still I agree. There's just not much happening. I'm in agreement with you. The Skypeia feels random. It feels like it doesn't really affect the world very much, and it's hard to care.
Yeah, exactly. That's the biggest thing with this. Like, it just seems so disconnect. Like, I'm imagining them going into this, like, regardless of what they do, they could come in here, change the culture. Everyone lives a happy life on Skypeia for the rest of the time.
Right.
They're heroes.
They're heroes.
They save the world of Skypeia. They leave Skypeia. We never see Skypeia again.
Uh-huh.
Nothing's changed. Because Skypeia seems pretty disconnected with the rest of the world.
I mean, I'll say that there are overlaps.
Okay.
So it's not all its own thing. There will be some direct connections to the world. With that being said, I get it. I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you. So I went into Skypeia knowing this, and so I've just kind of been trying to enjoy the mystery of it all. That's where I've kind of found the enjoyment, even though I know the mystery because I've watched the whole series. So I know what the mystery turns into or whatever, but I do find it interesting how it's all built up in, like, you get these little sprinkled tidbits. There's a lot of pieces that I feel like aren't elaborated on immediately. So, like, for example, how is a gigantic laser beam falling from the sky?
Someone obviously ate the giant laser fruit. Duh.
Which is probably true. But it's still like...
Is it the same giant laser that vaporized Igaram?
Maybe that's what happened. Maybe it wasn't.
In which case, this guy is probably fine.
Yeah, this guy's probably fine. I don't like to talk about the Igarim stuff, okay? It makes me mad, too, because it was such a cool moment when he got blown into oblivion.
I loved it.
It was a very memorable moment, and then it's like... Ugh. Regardless, I agree. It goes at a very slow pace. Even in the manga, it's going at a much slower pace. It's a completely different vibe than Alabasta. Alabasta's ramping up. This doesn't necessarily feel like it's ramping up. It is slowly, right?
Kind of, but it's mostly just them traveling from one point of the island to the next.
And, like, finding out things about the island as they go.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean when I say mystery. It's like they don't know anything about this place, so they're unveiling it kind of in the same way we are, where they're just finding things out as they go along.
Also, like, they don't need to be here. Like, they came here because Luffy wanted an adventure, right?
Yeah, I know, and it makes it it makes it tough to carry, especially because Jaya. I really do like the Jaya arc. I think it's really well done, and it set up so much, and then they come to Skypeia, and it's like, just forget about that.
Yeah, like, of all the things, like, Jaya set up, like, this is the least interesting thing I wanted them to go into.
I agree.
And it's the only thing we're focusing on for the next 40 episodes.
So it's good. We'll have fun.
Yeah,
I do feel like the beginning was slower than the rest of it. I think it starts to ramp up a little bit, but I guess we'll find out next week.
I guess.
What else we got here?
Not much.
I feel like we've honestly talked about pretty much everything. We talked about Ball Guy. We talked about Flame Guy. We talked about Old God.
Robin.
Talked about the technology.
Yeah, Robin thinks she can, like, she says her dream might not be dead or something like that.
What?
Yeah, she's, like, looking at all this pavement and, like, cobblestone roads, like, underneath the trees that are barely visible. And she's like, perhaps my dream isn't over yet. So I think she thinks there's something on the island that will, I don't know, point her to the plutonium or whatever it's called.
Plutonium.
What is it?
I don't remember. I think it's Pluton.
Pluton sounds right.
Plutonium is funny. But also, she's not trying to find the plutonium. She's just trying to reveal the history of the world.
Which is less interesting.
Is it?
She just wants to learn about it.
I mean, it'll probably. I mean, also it'll reveal the plutonium, presumably. That didn't happen in the manga, like, at all. That I remember. So that's cool. Nico Robin's a good point to hit on, especially because we got 15 mins at the minimum. So at this point, we had Nico through the Jaya arc, and now we have her up on the Skypeia arc. And while she hasn't done a ton, what do you think of her vibe? What do you think of Nico Robin's whole vibe, her whole thing going on? She brings, like, dark humor, which I find very funny. Dark humor. It's not, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
She'll be like, they've been eaten alive. Like, just straight-faced. Which I think is funny, but... Sorry.
Yeah, I guess, I don't know. She's cool. She keeps them on track more than Nami does, which I'm a fan of, or else, God knows, this would be an 80-episode arc.
Yeah, she's, like, the most serious person in the crew.
Yeah, which I appreciate.
By far.
Yeah.
By far. Like, next to Zoro, I think I would say.
Yeah.
Zoro's pretty serious, you know.
Except,
all business.
yeah, he's super serious, except they decided to introduce this Zoro's stupid kind of element.
What did you do that
him,
was stupid this time?
kept getting, like, I think someone made a comment, like, follow us or else you'll never find your way back or something like that.
Yeah, he's not stupid, he just is bad at directions.
Yeah.
I told you this would be a thing that keeps happening.
But like that wasn't a thing before. So now he's like this stoic character, but we're giving him a silly element. So now our stoic character is Robin. How long till she gets a silly element?
How long until Robin comes tumbling down? Yeah, they definitely... I will agree with that. Especially because in the beginning... I specifically remember when we were on Syrup Village. They had to go to the other side of the island because they were at the wrong beach.
Oh, yeah.
And Usopp says go north or something.
Yeah.
And Luffy gets lost, which is pretty within character. But Zoro just makes it there without any issue. And it's like, why was this not introduced then, at the very least? So this was just kind of out of the blue.
Because they just wanted to introduce a silly element to Zoro.
Yeah. I don't disagree. It's the directions thing's a little annoying. It's this crutch that doesn't necessarily need to exist. But
yeah. I'm not gonna really hold it against them. Like if you're plotting out this story that you're anticipating going for hundreds and hundreds of entries, you cannot plan everything ahead of time.
Yeah.
At some point, this is gonna happen. Like you're just like, I need this to be a story element. Here it is.
Yeah. Bad at directions.
Yep, this is a thing now.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, there's no way.
Yeah.
No, I don't hold it against him, but I get it's a little annoying. It's a little annoying. The same way that with Sanji simping is a little annoying.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but Sanji simping is a lot more annoying.
Absolutely. Are we allowed to say that on Twitch?
Oh God, who cares?
You're right.
Who's watching to stop us? I believe.
No, he does not, Chad.
Sanji's not a simp. He doesn't. Chad.
No.
No, he simps pretty hard.
He's cooking with bathwater, man.
And look, I don't think you know what a Chad is. Simp might be a bit much,
but it might not be.
He's got a mix. He's got a mix of Chad moments and simp moments, but I would say the simp moments overpower the Chad moments. Are we banned yet? So, I don't know. I find it annoying that Sanji's like, I gotta always protect him. And then he doesn't anyway.
Yeah, right. Like, that's his drive. He's just like, I gotta protect the ladies.
Yeah, I feel
like that's such a boring, like, uninteresting, like, unengaging drive for a character.
It's a very anime drive. I'll give you that one. That is an anime trope to its finest.
Yeah.
Where it's like, on one hand, I want to be a gentleman and protect them, but on the other hand, I'll peek on them in the bath and without any second thought, and that's my daughter.
With their father.
Regardless, right now, are you saying? Well, I mean, on the tier list, Nico was below Zoro. Is Nico making her way up the tier list?
Nico's making her way up. I'd rather watch it.
Her name's Robin.
Her name's both, ain't it?
It's both, but she's usually referred to as Robin, so I don't know why I'm saying Nico. Regardless. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, she's making her way up.
She brings a different vibe to the crew.
A vibe I appreciate. She should be the captain. The show should be about her.
The show should be about her. I disagree. It is Nico Bean's dig. You're totally right. All right. We've covered everything. There's, it's whatever. We're in the sky, everybody. You want to hear dig question of the day?
I do.
Let's listen to
more than anything.
Dig question of the day. There he is.
Interesting. Very interesting. So that's how dials work. I'm sorry. I didn't see you there. Compared to the chaotic lawlessness and rampant corruption of the Blue Seas, the Society of Skypeia is strictly organized and disciplined by an established fear and an all-too omnipresent god. What do you think about the civilization of Skypeia as a whole, and how do you feel about Oda's variegated creation of countries and their cultures?
Fight the power, man.
Fight the guy that can smite you with lightning, is what you're saying.
Nuffia, and he won't be smiting anyone anymore. Can't smite all of you.
I mean, I don't know if that's necessarily true. I think there's a very distinct reason why they have not fought the power. We actually see the other civilization on the sky, which we also didn't talk about. They are fighting the power. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the
mask guys.
Yeah. So that kind of I thought they were like with the priests or something.
So you have the priests, which are like this higher power along with God or whatever, right?
Okay.
And then you have like the normal average citizens, which I would say are what?
The angel people.
Yeah, the angel people. And then you kind of have these
the in-between people.
Yeah, they're
because
like
they're living underneath North Glen. What's the island called with the trees?
I forget, but yeah, they're like under it.
Yeah.
So they're like the bottom of the barrel. I forget.
And they live in teepees.
Yeah, they're like tribal mask people, but they've had enough. They're fighting the power. They're all headed to the island right now.
Yeah.
To fight God.
I like them. Yeah, that's awesome.
They were like, there's shit going down on the island right now.
Sky Knight killed one of them earlier. A dick.
He did kill one of them. But they were also trying to, like, murder the Straw Hats, and they just blew up a ship.
They were trying to survive.
Well,
it's war.
Yeah, which people died in war, so Sky Knight had every reason to murder that guy.
just as much right that he had to attack the Straw Hats.
But you have this, in the beginning they're shown as these bad guys, and now we're kind of flipping the script a little bit. They're not.
So
bad.
why don't they get along with the angel people?
We don't know.
Okay.
But maybe we'll find out.
We better. Skypeia, so I hope we find out. I find that interesting.
So there you go. Some things to look forward to. People are fighting the power. They're fighting against God. The Skypeians are in fear for their lives of being smit by a giant laser beam at any given time. But not these guys. They're taking control of the moment.
And we still don't fully understand why everyone was shunning Casey, do we? Not because the show hasn't explained.
Casey? Kami?
Kasi. Kosi?
Is that her name? Did you look it up?
No.
Angel lady. Angel girl.
Angel girl.
They weren't shunning her. They were just trying to stay quiet. Because she was leading the Straw Hats to the island so they could be punished. And so the other people weren't shunning. They weren't shunning her necessarily. They were just like probably uncomfortable with the situation because these pirates clearly had done something wrong, and now she's helping them, but she also has to help them in order to punish them. So they're just staying out of it. I don't think they were necessarily shunning her. It was just an uncomfortable situation.
Yeah, there was a lot of like weight put into that moment, and I didn't get it.
Yeah, where they were like, "Why did you tell us that?"
Yeah, and they were like the other people were saying like, "Don't tell him, don't tell him."
The weight in the moment was that if you go against God's rules, he's going to smite you, literally.
So because they were worried about
and instantaneously a laser beam came down from the heavens to try and kill her.
Okay, now it's coming together for me.
Yeah. So that's why they live by the rules so much, because if they don't, they're gonna get nuked.
Nerds.
And nuked immediately. Somehow, whoever has this giant laser beam fruit knows where they are as well at any given moment and can just smite them instantaneously.
It's the God fruit.
It's the God fruit. Conies. Yeah, you're right. Conies. Conus?
Conus. Canis.
Conies?
I don't know.
Yeah, well.
Whatever.
Yeah. So that's Skypeia.
That's the beginning of Skypeia.
That's the beginning of Skypeia. We got some things along the way. We've got 2 priests we haven't seen.
Mm-hmm.
And God himself we haven't seen either.
Yep.
So who
that's
knows
about
what that
it.
guy's about. And well, we got the people trying to fight God. Why are they on the bottom of the barrel? We've got
Because they're fighting God.
We've got Robin saying maybe there's some answers I can find here. We've got a treasure. A huge treasure.
Yep. A treasure.
That is supposedly somewhere on this island because Nolan the Liar said it was, thinking it went into the sea, but it actually went into the sky. So, there's some pieces here that we got to resolve yet.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess so.
So, yeah, we'll be resolving some of those next week, maybe. And we'll be finishing it up 2 weeks from now. Skypeia. Praise Jeebus.
Praise Sky Jeebus.
Sky Jeebus, do not smite thee.
He'll smite you.
Nope, he's gonna kill you. If you ain't careful, he's gonna take you down. So,
Yep.
All right. What time is it? 5:57.
It's about time to wrap up.
We're getting pretty damn good at this podcast thing.
We're getting there.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting there.
Any last words?
Can't wait till next week.
Why you gotta lie to people like that?
I'm not lying to people. I'm lying to you.
Well, you're lying to them too. There's 2 people here that you're lying to. He can't wait till next week, everybody. He can't wait. And he would if he had the opportunity. But I won't let him.
Nope.
We're moving forward. We'll see you guys next week.